I will just give you the slideshow. Okay, good morning to all. Our lesson for today is lesson number 2, History of Computers. So here we have a topic of the Yan, yung na-define naman na natin yan eh. So we will go or proceed on number 2, earliest computer, then computer history, and then computer generations. Okay, so let's move on the next slide. So the earliest computer, originally calculations were computed by humans whose job title was computers. So I check your assignment at nakita ko po yung inyong mga earliest computer. Okay, these human computers were typically engaged in the calculations of a mathematical expressions. Kaya po nag-start tayo ng ating computer history with the word compute. So it means our developer are all mathematicians. So the calculations of this period were specialized and expensive, requiring years of training in mathematics. The first use of the word computer was recorded in 1613, referring to a person who carried out calculations or computations, and the word continued to be used in that sense until the middle of the 20th century. Ayan, the first one is the tally stick. The tally stick was an ancient memory aid device to record and document numbers, quantities, or even messages. So as you can see on the pictures, it is similar with the horn. Parang trunk lang yan ng isang animals. Yan tally. If you don't have that tally sticks, okay lang. Pero meron naman kayong abacus, di ba? So abacus is the earliest computing device. It is a mechanical device used to aid an individual in performing mathematical calculations. The abacus was invented in Babylonia in 2400 BC, although China claimed that there was the one who invented the device. The abacus in the form we are most familiar with was first used in China in around 500 BC. So it used to perform basic arithmetic operations. And what are those basic arithmetic operations? Like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Yan. So yan yung picture ng ating abacus. The earlier abacus, so wala pa siyang mga nag-holds, no? Di katulad ng ating modern abacus, may nag-hold na dun sa mga parang bilog na bagay na yan. At yan yung mga counting numbers. Until now, kapag pumunta ka sa Ongpin, no? Kung nagpupunta kayo ng Ongpin, yung mga matatandang Chinese, hindi gumagamit ng calculator, pero yan ang makikita nyo ginagamit nila. Next, on the earliest computing device is the Napier's bone, invented by John Napier in 1614, allowed the operator to multiply, divide, and calculate square and cube roots by moving the rods around and placing them in the specially constructed boards. So itong Napier bone na to, although meron na tayong abacus, pero for operations lang ang kaya ng abacus, but with the use of Napier bones, nagkaroon na ng mga calculations for getting the square root and the cube roots. And the slide rule, invented by William Oughtred in 1622. It is based on Napier's ideas about logarithms, used primarily for multiplication, division, roots, logarithm, trigonometry, not normally used for addition or subtraction. At ito rin pong slide rule, so trivia lang po natin, na ito rin po ay ginagamit for the navigational period. So kasi nung time na yon, usong-uso yung paghahanap nila ng mga land to discover. So they use this slide rule to compute the ship, no, yung layo ng ship to land. And the Pascaline, invented by Blaise Pascal in 1642. It was its limitations to addition and subtraction. it is too expensive. As you can see, yung Pascaline, hindi ganyan kaliit lang yan, malaki yan. So may trivia na naman po tayo dyan about the Blaise Pascal work. Pascaline is also the adding machines. So he was only 19 years old when he invented that machine. Actually, nahihirapan kasi yung kanyang father na mag-compute ng tax. So para tulungan yung kanyang father to compute tax, ginawa niya yung kanyang Pascaline. And then, stepped reckoner, or invented by Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in 1672, the machine that can add, subtract, multiply, and divide automatically. Yan. So, hindi na tayo gagamit ng mga sliding rule or mag-slide ng mga beads. So, meron tayong ginawa ni Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, yung kanyang step reckoner. So, makikita nyo step, no? It means mechanical. So, maaaring dipadyak yan. Malaki yan. Hindi lang yan maliit. Next is the Jacquard loom. The Jacquard loom is a mechanical loom invented by Joseph Marie Jacquard in 1881. It is an automatic loom controlled by punch card. Ayan, so makikita nyo, napakalaki yung kanyang Jacquard loom. Ang functions nito ay makagawa ng tela. No? So maaaring ito ay dipadyak or di kamay para mag-weave. Then, the arithmometer, a mechanical calculator invented by Thomas de Colmar in 1820, the first reliable, useful, and commercially successful calculating machine. The machine could perform the 4 basic mathematical functions. The first mass-produced calculating machine. So, take note of the first ha. Tingnan nyo yung mga first. Kasi ito yung first mass-produced calculating machine, the arithmometer. No? Parang calculator. Next is difference engine, an analytical engine. An automatic mechanical calculator designed to tabulate polynomial functions, invented by Charles Babbage in 1822 and 1834. It is the first mechanical computer. So, meron pa rin tayong trivia about that Charles Babbage is the father of modern computer. Why modern computer? Ba't hindi na lang father of computer? Kaya siya tinawag na father of modern computer dahil na-visualize niya yung computer natin ngayon. Ang computer natin ngayon, yung mayroong basic operations, input, output, process, and store. So, yun yung kanyang na-visualize. Kaya tinawag siyang father of modern computer. So, mechanical dahil wala pang electricity, yun yung kanyang naging hindrance. Kaya yung isang engine niya ay hindi nag-functions dahil sa wala pang electricity dati. And his first computer programmer is none other than Augusta Ada Byron. In 1840, she suggests to Babbage that Babbage can use the binary system. No? She writes programs for the analytical engine. Kaya siya ang tinawag ng first computer programmer. So yung programs niya is not the usual programs natin ngayon na English-like. Ang kanyang programs noon ay mga machine language, which is 01. So, tina-transfer niya yung 01. And then the Shushan calculation engine, invented by Per George Schuss in 1843, based on Charles Babbage's difference engine. This is the first printing calculator. Ayan, so nagpiprint na yung ating machines. No, not only nagko-compute ng basic operations, but also it print out. Next is the tabulating machine by Hermann Hollerith in 1890. So, ito yung ginawa niya for the government kasi ang government ay nagsabi sa kanya to make a tabulating machine that compute the US Census to assist in summarizing information and accounting. So, ito yung first tabulating machine na nag-compute ng populations ng US. And the Hubbard Mark I, also known as IBM Automatic Sequence Control Calculator, ASCC, invented by Howard Aiken in 1943. This is the first electromechanical computer. Ayan, makikita ninyo dyan sa aking binigay na picture na ang computer ay hindi ganon kaliit. Ang laki, no? It almost occupy one room. So, Howard Aiken, 1943. So, may trivia rin si Howard Aiken eh. So, kasi mas masarap makarinig ng mga trivia, di ba? So, ang trivia ni Howard Aiken, dito po nag-start yung word na debug. So, one of the student of Howard Aiken study the Mark I, kasi meron siya isang devices na hindi na work. So, pinag-aralan yung estudyante niya at nakakita ng dead moth dun sa sensitive part ng computer ni Howard Aiken. So, from then, nag-start na yung word na debug. Dahil every time na makakakita sila ng error, they call it you debug, no? Debug it. Kasi baka meron na naman daw dead moth or insect sa loob ng computers. So until now, we use that debug to take out errors in computers. Okay? Next is Z1, the first programmable computer created by Konrad Zuse in Germany from 1936 to 1938. To program the Z1 required that the user insert punch tape into a punch tape reader, and all output was also generated through punch tape. So nakakapag-record na sila through punch tape. Kasi dati wala pang recording, no? Kaya itong gawa ni Konrad Zuse, meron na po tayong punch tape. And then, the ABC, which is the Atanasov Berry computer, was the first electronic digital computing device invented by Professor John Atanasov and graduate student Clifford Berry at Iowa State University between 1939 and 1942. So itong Atanasov Berry computer natin derived from their last name. Ayan, so doon nag-start po yung mga abbreviated computers kasi ABC, nagkaroon na tayo ng ENIAC. ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It was the first electronic general purpose computer. Kasi meron na po tayong electricity during that time. Kaya yan yung first electronic general purpose computer, completed in 1946, developed by John Presper Eckert and John McLean. So yan yung ENIAC. Again, it occupies one room. Next is the UNIVAC 1. The UNIVAC 1, which is the Universal Automatic Computer 1, was the first commercial computer designed by J. Presper Eckert and John McLean. Again, no, yung ng ENIAC, siya rin yung nag-create ng UNIVAC. So UNIVAC is the first commercial computer. It means na pwede na pong bumili sa market ng computer. Pero ang nakakabili lang po, of course, syempre, yung may mga pera kasi mahal. Then the EDVAC came. EDVAC stands for Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. This is the first stored program computer designed by von Neumann in 1952. It has a memory to hold both a stored program as well as data. So hindi lang po punch tape ang nakapag-hold ng data, kung hindi pati na rin po yung gawa ni von Neumann. At si von Neumann po ay siya rin po yung nagbigay ng architecture ng ating computer system organization. And the first portable computer created by Osborne Computer Corporation, ito yung Osborne 1, the first portable computer kasi malalaki pa ang mga computer noon, at nag-create sila ng syempre mas maliit, released in 1981. by the Osborne Computer Corporation. So the computer company handles the first portable computer, which is Osborne 1. So makikita ninyo, andun yung drive na, yung drive 1 and 2 niya, or drive A and B, at yung screen ay sobrang liit, at meron na po tayong input devices. The first computer company is Electronic Controls Company, founded in 1949 by J. Presper Eckert and John Macleay. So sila pa rin, no, ang nag-put up ng first computer company. At dumating na po yung mga computer generations. There are 5 generations of computer. So any moment po, no, mawawala na po yung ating screen, no? Kaya po-proceed tayo ng second meeting, pero i-utilize na rin natin yung remaining time. So first generation, 1946 to 1958. Second generation is 1959 to 1964. And third generation, 1965 to 1970. Fourth generation, 1971 to today. And the fifth generation, today to future. So we will discuss that on our second meeting here in Zoom. So ngayon din po yan. Kaya lang, wala na po tayong time for our 40 minutes. Kaya babalik ulit tayo doon sa inyong and then we will stop. No? Ay, wait.
Ma'am,
Yes.
may mga klase po kami hindi naka-join sa first meeting natin ngayon.
Okay, so pwede naman silang mag-join sa susunod na meeting. Kaya lang may time tayo, di ba? Dapat nung first meeting nandun sila. So na malaki na yung na-miss nila, yung mga trivia na sinabi ko kanina dahil wala yun sa aking lessons. No, kaya dapat okay, so kung makaka-attend sila later, attend na lang sila. Yan, so meron na lang tayong 5 minutes, no? Okay, so na lang natin yung ating Zoom meeting. Let's have a break for 5 minutes or kahit mga 10 minutes, no, for you to stretch yourself. Yan, okay?
Pa-accept na lang po sa boring shop.
Okay, sige.
Salamat po.
See you later. I will end this meeting. Record. Okay, the first generation, the first computer used vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory, and were often enormous, taking up entire rooms. So medyo malalaki daw. They were very expensive to operate, and in addition to using a great deal of electricity, generated a lot of heat, which was often the cause of malfunctions. Yung vacuum tubes na yan, hindi po yan malalaki. Kasing lalaki yan ng parang yung ating bombilya sa bahay, no? So yan yung nakalagay sa mga computers nila. Kaya makikita nyo sa mga computers ay isang buong room ang na-accommodate. Kaya medyo expensive kasi nagpuputukan agad. So isang process lang ang gagawin nila. Nagpuputukan yan, then they need to replace it. Ayan. The first generation computers relied on machine language. Machine language natin ay 01. The lowest level programming language understood by computers to perform operations, and they could only solve one problem at a time. Kung addition, addition lang. Sa susunod ulit na process yung multiplication kung meron man. Input was based on punch cards and a paper tape, and output was placed on printouts. So gumagamit pa ng punch card noon para wala pang keyboard. So ang pinaka-keyboard ay yung punch card. So may mga designated punch holes yan sa bawat letter. Then yung punch card na yon, kapag na-punch na or nagkaroon na ng hole yung bawat letter, then yun yung ipapasok sa punch card reader. At yun yung babasahin ng computers. No? Ang output was displayed on the printouts. Kung pwedeng i-display sa monitor, i-display niya yung laman ng punch card. Okay, for our second generations, kasi medyo yung ating first generation ay hindi ganun ka-successful kasi medyo expensive at saka ayaw na nilang gumamit ng mga vacuum tubes. They use transistors in replacement
yun.
without vacuum
Baka na
tubes.
isa.
And ushered in the second generations of computers. One transistor replaced the equivalent of 40 vacuum tubes. Imagine.
Hoy, doon kayo sa baba matutulog ah.
Pa-off na lang po yung mga ano,
Comment.
pa-off na lang yung mga microphone. So one transistor replaced 40 vacuum tubes, no? Kaya maganda yung transistors gamitin. Allowing computers to become smaller, faster, cheaper, and more energy efficient and more reliable. Ayan sa inyong screen yung ating transistors. Still generated a great deal of heat that can damage the computer. Ganun pa rin, no? Medyo umiinit pa rin yung ating mga machines with the transistors. Kung nakita niyo yung mga old transistors, ewan ko kung meron pa kayo niyang old transistors sa bahay, na radio kasi yung radio ninyo, yung loob niyan, it's made of transistors. Then, second generation computers moved from cryptic binary machine language to symbolic or assembly languages, which allowed programmers to specify instructions in words. Ayan, so hindi na po tayo machine language 01. So naging ano na po, binary. So it means yung mga letters, napalitan na po ng, yung palang 01, napalitan na po ng mga letters. Second generation computers still relied on punch card for input and printouts for output. These were also the first computers that stored their instruction in their memory, which moved from a magnetic drum to magnetic core technology. So yung punch card, napalitan na po ng magnetic drum and magnetic core technology. And now, the third generation. So, transistors, pero ginawa nilang maliliit na transistors. Yun yung tinatawag na IC. Okay, the IC, which stands for Integrated Circuit, was the hallmark of the third generations of computer. Transistors were miniaturized, so pinaliit, sabi, and placed on silicon chips called semiconductors, which drastically increased the speed and efficiency of computers. Ayan, nakikita ninyo, ayan yung mga ICs. May mga paa pa rin, katulad din sa transistors. Much smaller and cheaper compared to the second generation computers, it could carry out instructions in billions of a second. Users interact with third generation computers through keyboard. So meron na tayong mga I/O devices noon, keyboard and monitors, and interface with an OS, which allowed the device to run many different applications one at a time. Central programs that monitored the memory. So meron na tayo, complete na yung ating CSO, yung ating Computer System Organization. The computers for the first time became accessible to a mass audience because they were smaller and cheaper than their predecessors. Kaya lang mabagal pa rin ang ating computers. Kaya gusto natin mabilis with the fourth generations of computer using microprocessor. So microprocessor brought the fourth generations of computer as thousands of ICs were built into a single silicon chips. Ayan na yun. So meron tayong Intel Pentium. As these small computers became more powerful, they could be linked together to form networks. So hindi lang po tayo nakakuha na ng ating mga maliliit na mga computers, yung mga desktop, meron na rin tayong networks. Fourth generation, at saka internet. Yan, kasi kami network eventually led to the development of the internet. And this generation computer also saw the development of the GUIs. ano po ba yung GUIs? So this is the graphics, no? Graphical user interface. The mouse and the handheld devices were developed due to that GUIs. And the fifth generation, based on artificial intelligence, Ayan, nakikita naman na natin yung ating mga graphics. Medyo tumataas na, nagiging 3D na, 4D, 5D, but still in development. The use of parallel processing and superconductors is helping to make AI a reality. No, the goal is to develop devices that respond to natural language input and are capable of learning and self-organization. So meron na po tayong voice recognitions, no? At yung ating mga biometrics ng ating mga I/O devices, nag-i-increase na rin. And that's the end of lesson number 2. Okay, stop natin yung screen sharing, no? Para naman sa benefit ng mga ngayon lang naka-attend. Ayan, so pwede na tayo mag-picture ulit for the second meeting. Second discussion, sa mga hindi naka-attend kanina, pwede na tayo mag-picture-picture ulit. And then I want you to reveal your cameras, reveal your faces. And let's have a picture taking.